Hello, fellow YouTubers. How are you doing? As you can tell by the title of the video, I've got a little bit to talk about Sen Kiseki 3, as well as some other things. So, I'm not going to go into spoilers for Sen 3. I will be as vague as possible with stuff. I tried to do a video about just with me mentioning spoilers in it, and then I was just like, this is not gonna work. this is like, I can gush on about this sort of stuff. Like, I got some theories about some things that seemingly are starting to crystallize, and I might be on the right track. I mean, I've had some of these theories since like SC the third sort of thing, but there, yeah. So, woo. But what I will say, Sen 1 and 2, I really didn't like. I liked Sen 1 a little bit more than Sen 2, but it honestly felt like it was two games with 1 1/4's worth of story stretched out over those two games. So Sen 2 really kind of dragged on. It honestly didn't feel like, it felt like you were spinning your wheels. Sen 3, kind of feels the same way. Like, the thing I also really didn't like is the school setting, because compared to the other two story arcs, when you get to the school setting, it felt a lot more constricting. If that makes any sense. I mean, I don't know. It just feels like you're hamstrung to the hamstrung to it just, I don't know, it just really doesn't work with me. Plus, I'm not the biggest fan of Dean's character. Estelle, great. Lloyd, not, he isn't like a great, amazing character, but the whole unit is enjoyable. So, great. You know, Dean and Class 7, new Class 7, just they haven't really jived with me very much. I will say this though, new Class 7 isn't nearly as I don't know. I think part of the problem with like what I feel with like Sen 1 and 2 is that you have a ton of characters that are kind of, you know, they're thrown all together, and so you never, you know, you start to get some details and here and there about them and everything, but it just, like with the other games, like with Trails in the Sky, you had a ton of characters, but they were, you know, they came in and out, and it wasn't like you had them all at once, and you had to sort of pick through them and everything like this. And so it gave them time to focus on them, to get into their quirks and stuff like that. Not so much with Sen. It kind of felt they were a little more flat because there were so many. But I mean, that's changed over 3 games, obviously, because there's a lot more character development and stuff. But initially, it's kind of, and that's what it's taking all this time to establish these characters, so it feels really slow. Sen 3 is enjoyable. I will say that. Like, you know, I don't like Sen 1 and 2 that much. Sen 3 is a lot more enjoyable game. That being said, God, I will say this. Like, I enjoyed the game. There are a couple things, scenes, like there's one scene really early on in the game that I just shook my head. I was like, seriously, this is embarrassing. What what are you thinking? Like, outside of that, you know, and maybe a scene here or two of just kind of like, it was really good, except one little portion. But it yeah. So, like, I really felt that the music took a step up. It was, I don't know, I really enjoyed Sen 3 for the most part. There are just a couple things, one of them very glaring, that really bugs me. The one thing that does really bug me, but I won't go into detail about why it bugs me, is the ending. I'll just leave it at that. It's an enjoyable game, except for that ending bugs the living hell out of me. and that was a similar sentiment being shared with the a lot of the comments that I was reading on about it, and some of the stuff that is, for example, if you've played any of the Trails of Cold Steel games, there is an element of the battle mechanic that is introduced in this story arc that is expanded over 3 games, and that element kind of rubs me the wrong way as well. Trying to be vague, so, but yeah, that's just kind of, that's just me. I don't really like that type of thing that much, nor do I really like the school setting so much, so that's partially why I didn't like Sen 1 and 2 so much. It's just, I'm not a fan of that sort of stuff. Other people are, and they enjoyed it. Great. Have fun with it. Yeah. So, do I like it more than Dragon Quest XI? Because those are like the 2 games that I've really played this year and stuff. I don't know. I couldn't really say, because they're 2 very different. There are 2 very different things going on in those games. So I do have to say it is nice to see the trajectory of the game go the way it goes, and it certainly has reinvigorated my interest in the series, because I will admit, after Sen 1 and 2, I was pretty peeved and kind of like, yeah, I'm really not feeling this, and if Sen keeps on going, I don't know if I can keep going with it. And I'm seeing similar sentiments from some people that are kind of making fun of how long the Sen arc looks to be. Like, it just, I won't mention it because it leads into very vague spoiler sort of stuff, but it's like, Dave Chappelle, wrap it up sort of thing there. But yeah, whew. Done with that. Done with that. Don't want to go into it anymore. I've tried like a massive amount of times I've tried to do this video without like giving spoilers or just going off the rails loopy about it. So we're gonna leave it at that. The end. But other stuff. So last year around this time I had finished up the first edits, or like the first version of Sudraba, and then I had done some edits and stuff, had some beta readers, done some edits and whatnot. I had been looking around, and I've kind of settled with a thing called Lulu.com, and they have this package where they have an editor look over stuff, they help with the paperwork for the copyright and all that sort of stuff, and it's like $2,200, so I'm saving up on that. That's what's just taken some time to save up all that sort of money, which I don't think I mentioned it. Actually, yeah. So I didn't mention it. I'll mention it here. That's partially why I'm not really like buying a lot of like games or stuff like that. I'd like to do videos on Zeto and Aono Kiseki because I've done other ones, but I don't want to do ones on Sen because I'd have to buy another copy of those games, and I really don't have an interest in playing those games again. But also, I need that money saved up for that. So, as I'm saving up for that, I've slowly been kind of churning in my head some other story ideas and writing out little synopses and stuff for it, and I'm going to start working on another one here soon. I started to do it about a couple weeks ago. It was actually maybe like a couple months ago. But I had to kind of shelve it because I got really swamped with stuff. So, yeah, be on the lookout for that sort of thing. Check got a little list here. But, the other thing is, that kind of leads into it, I've been swamped. I usually take my laptop with me in a lot of different places. And I have a USB keyboard that I bring with me because I'm not the biggest fan of the laptop keyboard. Unfortunately, the USB has gone wonky on it. And unfortunately, when the USB goes wonky on it, I can't get into my computer. And so, I hadn't been able to do any sort of streams or anything because I was doing some streams here and there, and I was enjoying it. Even though I had a bit of an erotic breakdown with the final boss of East 1 on Nightmare. I was enjoying it, and hopefully I'll get one soon and then kind of get back into it. And unfortunately, the thing is I'm, because of the situation and everything that I'm in, it's really difficult to do a lot of streaming. Hell, it's really difficult to do much about anything. Like, I wanted to do, wanting to record this for the last few days. I've just had the chance to do it now. That's partially why the last few years I've been really quiet on the channel. I mean, you know, I was doing the like Let's Play thing, but then like I was fighting so hard, and this is probably, you know, it's definitely my fault to try to get it out on a daily thing, but I was fighting so hard to try to find time to record, and it was just, you know, it was driving me bonkers. It was driving me bonkers because it was just like, oh, hey, you can only record at like 2 in the morning because you can't get any other time to record because that'd be too easy. And it's kind of, yeah. So, yeah, and this is kind of the thing with, at least with like streaming, I could maybe stream like two times a week or so, and it would have to be really late at night, but at least it could be done, and then it wouldn't, you know, wouldn't be so beholden to trying to make sure I get videos out through like a Let's Play sort of thing. So, and the last thing here is also I've been, and I'm not going to say this is good or anything by any stretch of the imagination, so don't take this as me going, look at how awesome I am, because it's definitely not. But what I've been doing a lot lately is reading up and watching a lot of videos on music theory. I always liked music. To me, that's the most interesting thing. Like, and I know I'm going to get a lot of heat for saying this, but to me, music is the most interesting things about games, really, because most game stories suck. Just saying. Just saying. And I get it. Games mostly are meant to be about fun and just, you know, the gameplay sort of stuff. But when it comes to like story stuff, a lot of them just not very good. You might have like tidbits of interesting things going on, but I mean, it's just, and I get it. I mean, it's hard to make a How to Kill a Mockingbird video game, you know, so that pushes those sorts of interesting concepts of you know, how read the book and you'll get what I'm talking about. But anywho, where was I going with that? Oh yeah, so I've been reading up on music theory and stuff because I've always liked music. I just never had an opportunity outside of going and like taking a class and stuff at university. On Balinese gamelan of all things, but I never really learned music theory or any of the notes or anything, and there's something I'd like to get into. You see me playing a little bit of, it was a video I think last year, of playing the opening for Fire Emblem Gaiden, which was remade into that 3DS game that came out earlier this year. But I did that all through, I think it's called Synthesia or whatever. You see, it shows you where to hit the notes and everything, so you monkey see, monkey do. That was just basically it. And, you know, so I've been reading up on that. There's a really, really awesome channel called 8-Bit Music Theory. He really, like, if you don't know anything about music theory, it'll go over your head. You still might find it interesting because he does have visuals and stuff and everything that might make some sense without understanding some of the technological terms that he's using and all that sort of stuff. But I really liked it. I like his videos. I didn't know what the hell he was talking about at first. I know probably about 40% about what he's talking about now. I'm like, okay. But so yeah, if you like music and that sort of thing, check out 8-Bit Music Theory's channel, really good stuff. But I bring all that up because I've been reading up on that all and la 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 la, and then I started dabbling in Famine Tracker there. So I'm going to put up a couple of different random like tunes. I'm not saying they're great or anything, but just a couple different tunes that I've put together, just kind of fiddling with it and learning all the musics and sort of stuff. So that's really about it. I've tried to make it a little bit quicker, but I failed. Game over, man. Game over. But yeah, so I hope all is going well. I hope I can kind of get back in the saddle with doing stuff, because I'd like to do. I know I didn't mention it, but I'd like to do like podcast stuff, and Sushi and I have been passing emails and stuff back and forth, but we're like, our schedules are so wonky that it's just really hard to set up, and situation, at least particularly on my end, it's hard to record anything. So that I would like to do. Maybe I should kind of do a bit more of the Rambling Weekly stuff, because I've got a bunch of topics for that as well. So yeah, hopefully I can kind of get back into the saddle with stuff here. It's been a bit rough, but yeah, do what I can. So definitely leave me any sort of comments and whatnot. Tell me what you think of the little music tunes and sort of stuff, and yeah, have a good day. Take it easy.